my name is Jessil and I'm a dietitian by profession and a certified yoga instructor. Welcome back to my channel, Nubda Wellness. Hope you have watched my previous video. It was a series on hypertension in which the first one was on a recipe which would help you to manage your hypertension, and the second video was on some ways by which you can manage your stress level which is linked to hypertension, and the third video was on some ways by which you can manage your hypertension. So if you haven't watched it, do watch it and do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let's move on to today's topic, that is hypothyroidism and ways to control it through yoga. Thyroid problems or thyroid disorders are very common worldwide. First of all, let's see what is thyroid. Thyroid is a small gland which is present in the throat which secretes hormones. There are 5 common thyroid disorders seen in India, but today I will be speaking more on hypothyroidism, as I said, which is very common. So it occurs when the gland, that is the thyroid gland, is unable to produce enough thyroid hormones to meet various needs of our body, and it is difficult to diagnose it without testing. I will help you with some common signs of hypothyroidism. Those are feeling weak, finding hard to lose weight or weight gain, dry hair, dry skin, hair loss, muscle cramps, muscle aches, mood swings, constipation, and changes in the normal menstrual cycle. Several nutrients are involved in thyroid health, particularly iodine and selenium. It's very important that you correct your iodine levels because iodide, which is actively absorbed in your thyroid gland, helps to produce thyroid hormones. So for that, first you should know that how much iodine you're getting from your diet and how much you require. So it's always advisable to consult a dietitian in such case. That doesn't mean that you should stop your medication. Other way to keep your thyroid gland healthy is through exercise. Yoga can be considered as one of the natural remedy for treating thyroid disorders or for keeping your thyroid gland healthy. I will be showing some asanas which will help to reduce hypothyroidism or which will help to prevent the further complications related to it. Before we move on to the first asana, let me tell you that it's always advisable to do some loosening exercise and some breathing exercises. If you want to refer them, you can refer to my previous video. I have explained few in detail. So let's move on to the first asana, that is Ustrasana or camel pose. It is very good for stimulating your thyroid gland and increasing the blood circulation there. Also, it would be good if people with hernia or ulcers or arthritis, vertigo or any other abdominal injuries avoid this asana. For that, first sit in Vajrasana and then come on your heels, your toes pointing backwards, and now slowly breathe and then slowly catch hold of your heels and drop your neck. Be relaxed. Stay in this asana for 30 seconds to 1 minute. If you're not able to touch your heels, then you can hold your waist and stay here. Even here you have to drop your neck and just be relaxed. Now slowly exhale, come back, drop your hands and sit in Vajrasana. And now just relax in Vajrasana. After this, let's move on to the next asana, that is Setu Bandhasana. I have explained this asana in many of my videos. You can refer them, or if you have not watched it, I will be explaining it again now. So for that, lie down flat on your back. Your knees bend. Your feet should be inwards towards your hip. And now slowly, by contracting your glutes, you have to raise your hips up. Now try to touch your heels. If you cannot touch your heels, then you can support your hips with your hands. Place the elbows or press the elbows to the mat and stay here. You'll be able to go more up. This way. Stay here for 30 seconds. Just be relaxed. And this is a good asana for stimulating your thyroid gland. increases the blood circulation to the neck. Your shin should be straight, that is your heels and your knees should be in one line. So again, if this is comfortable, then slowly you can interlock your fingers and try to go more up. Or just stay here. Or catch hold of your knees or of your heels. And then slowly exhale. Drop your hips down. Your back should be on the mat. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Now relax. After you are done with Setu Bandhasana or the bridge pose, let's move on to the next asana, that is Matsyasana or the fish pose. We will be doing the half fish pose. For that, straighten your legs and now take your palms below your buttocks, your one palm over the other, or you can also interlock your fingers and keep it. However, if you are comfortable, you can keep it this way below your buttocks, or you can keep it this way. So take it below your buttocks. Your elbows should be in. If your elbows are outside like this, then you will not be able to lift your body up. So it's better to tuck your elbows in. Now your palms are over each other. And now your feet facing forward. And now slowly push the elbows to the mat and lift your chest up. Now try to bring the crown of your head on the mat. Look behind and breathe. Breathe. You'll feel a good stretch in your spine. Relax your neck. Breathe. Deep breathing. Stay in this pose for 30 seconds. Stay very calm and relaxed. Now, when you release this pose, slowly keep the back of your head on the mat. Bring your elbows down. Release your hands and lie down in Shavasana. Let's move on to the next asana, that is Bhujangasana or the Cobra pose. I have explained this asana also in many of my videos. You can refer that, or I'll be explaining it here again. So for that, come and lie down on your belly. Your palms beside your chest, your toes pointing backwards. And now slowly, while you inhale, you have to lift your chest up and look up. So while you go up, before going up, your elbows should be tucked in, and it should not be like that. Elbows should be tucked in, and slowly inhale and lift your chest up. Don't lift it completely, only till your navel, and look up. Your elbow should be slightly bent. Look up and breathe. Breathe for 30 seconds. Look up. And then release and relax in Makarasana. Once you get comfortable in Bhujangasana, which was the Cobra pose, then you can do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. For that, again, you place your hands beside your chest. You can do this as a continuation of Bhujangasana also, like 30 seconds hold in Bhujangasana, and then 30 seconds you can hold in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. For that, straighten your elbows and then look up. In Bhujangasana, you just raised your body till your navel and your elbows were bent. Here, you straighten your elbows, you look behind, your palms completely on the mat, your feet or your toes facing backwards. Breathe, breathe, When you breathe, feel the pressure on your neck. Feel the circulation or feel the movement in your neck. Breathe. Stay here for 30 seconds. Bend your elbows and slowly bring your chest to the mat. Exhale and relax. Now from here, let's move on to the next asana, that is Dhanurasana. For that, take your hands to the sides of your body, palms facing upwards, your toes pointing backwards, and slowly bend your knees and try to bring your heels as close to your buttocks. Now catch hold of your ankles, both your ankles. Your feet should not go away like this. It should be in the same distance as the hips. Now slowly inhale and lift your thighs from the mat along with you lifting up your chest. And then look up. Lift your thighs as much as possible. Look up. You'll feel a good stretch in your spine. Do not forget to breathe. And release your thighs on the mat. Release your chest. Release your hands. And now again, rest in Makrasana. When you do such asanas, it is always good that you lie in Makrasana. And when you do asanas where you are lying down on your back, you have to do the relaxing asana, which is Shavasana. So now let's sit down in Vajrasana for a few seconds. Take few deep breathing and relax. Let's move on to the next asana, that is Viparita Karni, or legs up the wall. For that, first sit with your legs in front of you and then sit closer to the wall. Your butt should be touching the wall, and then slowly take your legs up the wall and try to touch your buttocks to the wall. Adjust it. Stay here for a few seconds. Your hands on the mat. Stay here for a few seconds. Once you get comfortable, after 30 seconds, slowly walk up and then stay here for 30 seconds. If this is not easy for you, you can also take support of your hands, or else you can just leave it on the mat or interlock your fingers. Be comfortable. Breathe. Stay here for 30 seconds to 1 minute. You feel a good circulation in your neck. Now exhale and bring your back to the mat and relax again in this pose for 30 seconds. Now let's move on to the most important asana, which will help you to keep your thyroid gland healthy and it stimulates your thyroid gland. That is Sarvangasana, or the shoulder stand. For beginners, you all can take support of the wall. So for that, slowly, as you did for the Viparita Karni, walk with your legs up the wall and then support your hips with your hands. Take your elbows in, adjust your chin, take your elbows in, and then slowly come away from the wall and balance your body. Straighten your body. Stay in this asana for 30 seconds, and once you're done with it, breathe and slowly support and try to reach your toes to the floor. If this is not possible, then you can place something below your toes
So you can stay here, or if this is comfortable, then you can touch that. Now once you reach here, you can leave your hands. Walk to the right, walk to the left, come to the center. Stay here for 30 seconds. Then again take support of your back. Legs up. If there is wall behind, you can place your legs on the wall. Then slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae and release your body. Now relax in this asana for a few seconds and then you can release.
I hope with these asanas you'll be able to keep your thyroid gland active and healthy. So if you have noticed, I have selected such asanas in which the blood circulation is more to the neck region. That is because these asanas will help to stimulate the thyroid gland, which will eventually help in releasing the thyroid hormones. I know few asanas were difficult, especially the Sarvangasana, but after Viparita Karni, if you do Sarvangasana with the help of the wall, it will be easier for you. Few days it will not be possible, you will have to take help of the wall, and after that, once you get comfortable holding your body or balancing your body, you will have to just swing your body up and just catch hold of your waist and take the support of your elbow and your shoulders. Then you can do it very easily. Once you have done shoulder stand, then you can easily go to the Halasana and you complete that round of shoulder stand. So every day with your other exercise routine, you can add these exercises, or you can even do only this. But see to it that you are working out, or you have some kind of physical activity for 1 hour at least every day. Hope you've liked this video, and if you've liked this video, do press the like button and do not forget to comment. And if you face any difficulty, you can write to me on my email address, which I've given in the description box. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned and take care.